Every day, millions of Bangladeshis spend hours stuck in traffic or crashed into unsafe buses and trains. For women, it's even worse. Harassment and unsafe stations turn travel into fear. But this is not only a daily struggle, it's a break on our entire economy. Hello, this is Audrika Islam.
And this is Nowmee Fairoz. And for today, our topic is
Transport infrastructure in Bangladesh, a roadblock to growth.
so let's look at some key problems which are holding us back. One major problem is productivity loss. Dhaka is one of the most congested cities in the world. Traffic jams cost Bangladesh billions of work hours every year. Here's a simple aggregated supply graph. GDP at the bottom axis, overall price level at the left axis. This upward line is what our economy can produce with our workers, buses, and trains. But if workers lose hours sitting in buses or if goods arrive late, each worker produces less. On this curve, the line shifts left, which means lower output at all price levels. According to a 2019 study by the World Bank, traffic congestion in Dhaka results in a loss of over $3.8 billion per year. That figure has likely increased since then. In short, congestion doesn't just frustrate us, it slows our economy. Moreover, unsafe and unreliable transport not only wastes hours but also keeps many women from working. Harassment and unsafe stations discourage travel, leaving women's workforce participation nearly half of that men's. And eventually, unemployment rates get higher. In countries like Malaysia and Philippines, women-only coaches and safer and more reliable public transport help narrow this gap. If Bangladesh ensures safe transport, millions of women could enter the workforce, raising labor force participation. With more worker aggregated supply expands, businesses produce more, household income rise, and the overall GDP grows as more goods and services are created and exchanged.
Meanwhile, weak transport also damages our ability to attract visitors. Tourism is another problem where the effects are clear. Unsafe buses and delayed trains discourage both local and foreign tourists. Look at this. Bangladesh welcomed only around 500,000 foreign tourists last year compared to 25 million in Malaysia and over 2 to 35 million in Thailand. The difference is huge and it shows how much tourism we are missing out on. And why does this matter? Because tourism brings in foreign money, strengthening our current account. When fewer tourists arrive, fewer dollars flow in, weakening our balance of payments and putting pressures on the exchange rate. So, poor transport not only keeps people off the roads, it also keeps much needed money out of our economy. On the other hand, there are also positive stories. The Dhaka Metro Rail has already made commuting safer and faster for thousands of people every day. Why is that so important? Because visible success changes expectations. When people see working projects, they start to believe the future will improve. Families spend more, businesses invest more, and confidence grows. On this graph, it's like the growth path bending upward. Infrastructure like metro rail doesn't just move people, it builds hope for the future and long-term growth. To understand why transport matters so deeply, let's look at the solo growth model. On the bottom, we have capital per worker and on the side, output per worker. The curved line shows how more capital makes worker more productive. When we invest in better roads, trains and buses, workers gain more capital, moving us to the right, producing more output. And when quality improves, the whole curve shifts upward, meaning higher productivity at every level. This shows why transport is a foundation for our long-term growth.
And Bangladesh already has a roadmap. The revised strategic transport plan highlights ring roads, safer buses, and railway upgrades. International partners like the World Bank, ADB, and JICA have also safety, efficiency, and women's access. But the challenge is execution. Experts recommend clear steps to turn plans into real results. Here are some recommendations. Modernize intercity buses and terminals with safe buses, rest stops, lighting, cameras, and emergency helplines. And then upgrade railways, especially the Dhaka-Chattogram and Dhaka-Sylhet routes with better signals and on-time service. And then we have ensure women's safety with bright stations, trained staff, and where needed, women-only spaces. And then we have provide clean washrooms, a basic but urgent need for families and tourists. And finally, make transport investable through public-private partnership with safety rules, fixed maintenance budgets, and public service dashboards. Together, these steps can turn plans into real progress. So in conclusion, transport is not just about moving from one place to another, it is about how fast we grow as a nation.
When travel is safe, fast, and fair for both men and women, productivity rises, tourist comes, and confidence grows. And Bangladesh moves forward on a higher path of growth.
This is all for today.
Thank you for being with us.